Okay, so just to preface the next section, again, thank you very much to the teachers that came last year and wrote the feedback. One of the more common topics was the idea of using literature and classics in the classroom, how to do that, how to introduce that. And to maybe give you a starting suggestion, I'd like to welcome up Miss Anna Morris from Oxford University Press.
Thank you very much, Richard. And welcome back, everyone, from coffee break. I hope you enjoyed it. So let's look at Oxford Reading Club. And I've just switched it on, so thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. I'm going to have just 15 minutes with you, and just a word of warning, I'm going to have a couple of QR codes on screen, so you can get your phones ready if you're interested. So there are going to be a few resources, actually 3 to be exact, that you can take picture of, or you can scan as a QR code and then look at them at your own time. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about extensive reading, and I think most of the teachers initially looked at the extensive reading as a reading for pleasure, but let's see what the extensive reading actually is. It is the process of reading longer, easier text for an extended period of time with no or a little breakdown of comprehension, feeling overwhelmed, or the need to take breaks. So there are multiple benefits, and apart from reading for pleasure, we understand that students are benefiting in a lot of other ways in terms of learning language as it is. And I'm sure you can come up with lots of suggestions. Since we have very little time, I'm probably going to put all of them on the slide, and we can probably add a few more. So, with reading extensively, we know that students can read faster. They get better vocabulary. I think vocabulary thing comes up all the time. They become better at writing, and this is what research shows. They're even better at fluency. They speak better. They speak fluently. And they also feel that this becomes their personal experience with language, so therefore their attitude towards English and the subject of English language becomes much better. And of course it is something to do with motivation. Now, one of my esteemed colleagues, who is reading quite a lot, he actually said that in addition to all of those benefits, he personally experienced the improved mood, much better attention span, awareness, and the fact that extensive reading actually reduces anxiety and fear of missing out. So what conditions need to be met in order for extensive reading to become really productive? So they are, okay, and these 4 come from the article, so the next slide is going to be QR code. But one of the important features is that extensive reading should be easy. So it should be below their achievement level. It's not the level that they're studying, it should be much lower. Also, students should be presented with a variety of titles. It shouldn't be just like 1 or 2 or 5 or 10, it should be a lot more. Choice is very important, so it should be student who chooses what to read and have a liberty of stopping reading and choosing something else and moving to something else. And finally, it's amount of reading. So I think in terms of amount, it's as much as possible. And ready with the phones? Okay, here's the article. This is a blog article from the Dr. Richard Day, and you will be able to read it in your free time if you're interested. Okay, so what are the challenges? And tell me please if I'm wrong, but my students don't read. Is that the case in your situation? Okay, so I think quite a lot of teachers come across the situation that students don't actually read. And let's look at some of the reasons for that. So why are students reluctant readers? So they find reading difficult and boring. So it's kind of archaic and not so much fun to do. Reason number 2, they get distracted easily with so much multimodality information there. They come across. It's very difficult to concentrate on one thing. They have very short attention spans, which is, fairly true. And they expect instant gratification. They get used to those bursts of dopamine they get every time they look at a new post or something like that, something like fun. So there are various ways of addressing these challenges. And apart from the obvious ones, like we have golden rules of how to get students to read extensively, I would like to suggest a little bit unusual one, and it comes from the webinar from one of our speakers at Dudley that we ran in September 2022. And he has a very interesting approach in teaching reading, or benefits of approaching reading as a chore. So I'm going to play a little extract here.
Let's talk about the benefits of approaching reading as a chore, and think for a moment about the chores that you do, probably without thinking about them, around your apartment all the time. The chores that we do need doing. Someone has to do them. And so very often we accept that as a fact of life and get on with them. However, the chores that you do have a visible positive consequence. The flat looks better, smells better, is more comfortable to be in when the chores have been carried out. Most people, I think, don't expect to enjoy the act of tidying up when they come to do that. However, there is satisfaction that comes through getting to the other side of that process. And the best thing of all is that the chores that we do with frequency are things that we become good at. And I'm sure you've all experienced the sight of a teenager trying to use a vacuum cleaner or trying to do the washing up and being surprised at how inept they are. Why? Well, that's because they're not in the habit of doing it. So this is, again, something which I think has a clear parallel. So I'm suggesting here that the chore analogy is something which can have a positive benefit on their reading if we can accept it. I'll be curious to see what you think about that. And if anybody has any questions about this later on, it's something which I'm happy to come back to.
Okay, so it was it was a kind of a very short teaser for you. If you're interested in a webinar, please scan this QR code and you will be able to watch it from the beginning and in full. And I'm sure that you are for a real treat there. Okay, moving on. Okay. Additional challenges, and these are the ones that we can treat with Oxford Reading Club, are providing enough materials. We said that students need to have a lot of choice, time restrictions, building confidence, guiding the reading journey, monitoring what they're reading, how long they're reading for, how many words they're covering. And this is where Oxford Reading Club actually comes. So Oxford Reading Club is a digital library that has over 700 titles. 724 to be exact, and it covers from first phonics to classic literature. It comes from 12 different series, and it is suitable for different ages. It is suitable for primary school students, it is suitable for secondary, it is suitable for adults with different level of English from A1 to probably B1, B2 level. And if we are talking about somebody reading at lower level, native speakers can enjoy readers too, I would say. So here you can see all these series. I don't know if you are familiar with any of them. And you can see number of readers that would be available immediately as students get access to Oxford Reading Club. And it's like in Netflix, they have access to everything and they can choose and try whatever they want. So they're going to, you know, in terms of genre, in terms of level, everything is available for that period of time. They get the access to Oxford Reading Club. Now, do we know where they should be starting? And of course, Oxford Reading Club is a area where students can take a test and they can see what their language level is. So the test would let them know that at word level, at phonics level, where they are, and they can select the books based on that information. What's more, Oxford Reading Club would also help them build that sequence. So if you look at next slide, here you will see that it would advise them to start there and move slowly across different series. But we have to remember that whatever they're reading, it should be below their studying level. It should be easy and fun. Okay, so one more benefit of using Oxford Reading Club is the 5-step reading process. And it is essential to build students' confidence. So it starts from warm-up activity at the left, you see. So this is something that would prepare students for reading the book. It would be very simple, fun word game that would show them key vocabulary. Then we would go into listen up area where all the vocabulary, all the words in the reader are covered and they can only listen to it and enjoy it in an oral format. Then they can actually go to the next stage and read the book, and they can listen and read, and they can do it at different speeds as well. Next stage would be the Speak Hub, and this is where they can listen, they can record their sentence and listen again. So they can check their pronunciation against a perfect model done by the actors, and actually you, if you have a learning management system with Oxford Reading Club, can listen to them too. And finally, it has a wrap-up with the comprehension questions where students revised everything they learned. So these are the essential steps, especially at younger age, at lower levels, that is moves to more functionality at higher levels. So more functions is like read along with adjustable speeds. So all readers, all 724, are accompanied with the audio. So students can read them or listen to them at lower pace, faster pace, or the normal pace. So they are the ones who get to decide, and they can read along with that. There is an embedded dictionary, so they can look up words, and they can also look up at the examples from other books on Oxford Reading Club, which becomes more motivational for them. They can create their own word lists for studying later. And there is an element of gamification by giving them badges, and they can get a badge for a certain number of books, for a certain number of words, for a certain time they read. So it's also a fun thing and motivating thing to do if they're competitive enough. And also, they can track their progress. And not just them, you as a teacher and parents can track their progress. So this is one of the areas which is also quite important. It's a learning management system where you as a teacher can monitor everything that is being read by your students. We understand that it is extensive reading, it is for fun, but it's also some of the work that they're doing, and you can show it to parents. So it's a 5-step process. You can see where they are and how much time they spend doing each of the steps. You can see books they read, total words they read, time spent their reading, and also you can get a monthly report and share it with parents. So just to summarize everything I just talked about, there is a very short video showing what it looks like there. Okay, so I think that it was like a video summary. Now it's a summary on one slide. So it offers a wide range of reading materials, build confidence with 5-step process, especially at primary and lower levels. Monitor progress, assign reading, set targets. This is what teachers can do, and support lifelong love of reading. So there are extra benefits in terms of motivating for students. There is a high level of flexibility, which books to choose, when to read, where to read. It can be read on several devices. There is a high quality readers there that have quite a lot of achievements. So, and they can see the progress. So in terms of versions, there are 2 versions: individual access codes for students, but there is also a class level or school level approach where you can watch them through the learning management system. And this is what monthly report looks like. Now, how they're going to be used, either as a homework in class or as a further reading, it's up to you to decide. But if you're interested in more how Oxford Reading Club can be used in the classroom, get ready with your phones, and I'm going to share a QR code for the webinar that is going to take place in about 10 days' time. It's Wednesday, December 6th. And it's going to be Unlock the Power of Extensive Reading with ORC, Oxford Reading Club, with Radek Żanowski. So, and this takes me to the end of my presentation. Thank you very much. And while Russell is going to unplug and switch the computers, I'm going to introduce him from the program that all of you have in your bags. So Russell Stannard is a multi-award-winning educational technologist and founder of the website www.teachertrainingvideos.com. He has more than 77,000 subscribers on YouTube channel. He received awards from the British Council, Eltons, the Times Higher, and the University of Westminster for his work in the use of ICT in education. He's especially known for his work in using technology to enhance feedback, teaching online, and blended flipped learning. He helps develop language learning products, and more recently has been working in the area of AI and language education. What this program doesn't say is that he is also a proficient guitar player. He knows 4 languages, and we know that English people don't learn languages very easily. And he's practicing his teaching with his 15-month daughter, Abigail. So over to you.